Ladies and gentlemen, imagine for a moment that you are the captain of a grand ship sailing through the vast ocean. The waves rise and fall, the winds shift directions, and storms occasionally threaten your course. But beneath the surface, deep below, there is a silent, powerful current guiding your journey. This current is not seen, not heard, yet it influences everything. That, my friends, is the incredible power of the subconscious mind. It is the silent architect of our lives, the unseen force that shapes our beliefs, our actions, and ultimately our destiny. Every thought we entertain, every word we whisper to ourselves, plants a seed in this vast, fertile ground of our subconscious. And just like a seed grows into a tree, these thoughts take root, forming patterns, habits, and the reality we experience. Think back to a time when you set your heart on something. A goal, a dream, an ambition. Maybe it was a career, a relationship, a skill you wanted to master. In the beginning, there was doubt. There were obstacles, but something inside you refused to let go. And as you nurtured that belief, as you fed your mind with the certainty that it was possible, you started seeing opportunities where there were none before. You met the right people. You stumbled upon the right resources. The universe seemed to rearrange itself to support your vision. That was not luck. That was the power of your subconscious mind, working in harmony with your desires. Most people go through life like a ship with no captain, letting the winds of circumstance dictate their direction. They tell themselves stories of limitation. I'm not smart enough, I'm too old, I don't have what it takes. And without realizing it, they program their subconscious to make these falsehoods their reality. But those who understand the secret tap into an infinite reservoir of potential. They choose their thoughts with intention. They guard their inner dialogue. They see challenges as stepping stones, failures as lessons, and obstacles as opportunities to grow. The truth is, we become what we repeatedly tell ourselves. If you believe you are capable, your subconscious will go to work proving you right. If you believe you are unworthy, it will find ways to reinforce that too. The choice is always yours. So what if you decided today, right now, to reprogram your mind for success? What if you started speaking to yourself the way you would to someone you love? What if you filled your subconscious with images of victory, words of power, and feelings of absolute certainty? Imagine the life you could create. Imagine the person you could become. The mind is like a garden. You can plant seeds of doubt, fear, and failure, or you can plant seeds of confidence, abundance, and limitless potential. Whatever you nurture will grow. And as the gardener of your own mind, you hold the tools, the power, and the responsibility to shape your reality. Greatness is not reserved for the lucky or the gifted. It is available to those who dare to believe. To those who understand that the greatest power they will ever need is already within them, waiting to be awakened. So step into that power, speak into existence the life you desire, because the moment you decide to control your subconscious mind is the moment you take control of your destiny. Every thought you think is like a seed being planted in the fertile soil of your subconscious mind. It doesn't matter if the thought is positive or negative. Once planted, it begins to take root, grow, and eventually shape the reality you experience. The subconscious does not question or analyze. It simply accepts and nurtures whatever is given to it. Like a gardener tending to a field, you have the power to decide what kind of seeds you will sow. Seeds of confidence, success, and abundance, or seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation. Think about the way a single thought can influence your emotions. Imagine waking up in the morning and telling yourself, today is going to be a great day. That simple statement sets off a chain reaction. Your subconscious begins to filter your experiences through the lens of positivity. If you notice small moments of joy, you attract good energy, and you handle challenges with more patience and confidence. On the other hand, if you start your day with thoughts of stress, frustration, or failure, your subconscious will amplify those feelings, making even minor inconveniences feel overwhelming. Your mind is always listening. The conversations you have with yourself shape the beliefs you hold. If you constantly tell yourself, I'm not good enough, I'll never succeed, or life is too hard, your subconscious takes these statements as truth and works to make them a reality. It filters out opportunities, highlights obstacles, and reinforces the very limitations you fear. But the opposite is also true. When you consistently tell yourself, I am capable, I always find a way, or success is inevitable, your subconscious mind aligns your actions, thoughts, and emotions to support that belief. The greatest achievers in history did not succeed because they were lucky. They succeeded because they repeatedly planted thoughts of greatness in their subconscious. They visualized success, spoke words of confidence, and refused to entertain thoughts of failure. Over time, those thoughts became their reality. The mind, like soil, does not discriminate. It will grow whatever you plant. So the question is, what kind of garden are you cultivating? Are you allowing weeds of doubt and negativity to take over? Or are you intentionally planting seeds of success, abundance, and unshakable belief? Your thoughts today are creating your reality for tomorrow. Choose them wisely. Everything you have achieved in life and everything you have struggled with can be traced back to one powerful force: your beliefs. What you believe deep down in your subconscious mind determines what you will or will not accomplish. Belief is not just a passive idea, it is a force that shapes your thoughts, your actions, and ultimately your reality. When you believe in something with absolute certainty, your subconscious mind aligns itself to make that belief come true. Think of the people who have accomplished extraordinary things. They did not start with proof or guarantees, they started with belief. The greatest athletes, the most successful entrepreneurs, and the most influential leaders all began with nothing but an unshakable conviction that their dreams were possible. They didn't wait for external validation or for the world to confirm their potential. Instead, they planted the belief in their subconscious minds, nurtured it every single day, and watched as their reality unfolded to match it. Your mind works like a magnet, drawing experiences, opportunities, and people that align with what you believe to be true. If you believe you are destined for greatness, your subconscious will begin to find ways to make that a reality. It will push you toward the right decisions, the right habits, and the right mindset. But if you believe you are limited, unworthy, or incapable, your subconscious will also work to make that true. It will highlight obstacles instead of solutions, reinforce fear instead of courage, and create an environment where failure seems inevitable. Your current reality is nothing more than a reflection of your past beliefs, but here's the powerful truth: you can change it. You can choose new beliefs today, ones that empower and uplift you. Instead of saying, "I can't," begin saying, "I am capable." Instead of thinking, "I am not good enough," start affirming, "I am worthy of success." At first, your subconscious may resist. It has spent years reinforcing old patterns, but just like a muscle grows stronger with repetition, your beliefs will strengthen the more you nurture them. The world does not respond to wishful thinking, it responds to unwavering belief. Decide today what you want to believe about yourself and your future. Speak it, visualize it, feel it with every part of your being, because when you truly believe in something, your subconscious mind will move mountains to make it happen. The words you whisper to yourself in silence are more powerful than anything the outside world can say to you. They become the script your subconscious mind follows, the foundation on which your reality is built. The problem is, most people don't even realize how much damage they do to themselves with negative self-talk. They plant seeds of doubt, fear, and limitation in their minds without questioning where these thoughts come from or whether they are even true. And once these thoughts take root, they begin shaping every aspect of life: decisions, actions, and even the way the world responds. Imagine a person who constantly tells themselves, "I'm not good enough, I always fail," or "success is not for people like me." Their subconscious mind listens and accepts these statements as commands. It then works to reinforce them by creating hesitation, fear, and self-sabotage. They start avoiding challenges because deep down they believe they won't succeed. They stop taking risks because their mind tells them it's pointless. They struggle to see opportunities because they are too focused on their limitations. Before long, their thoughts become their reality, and they live a life that reflects their deepest fears rather than their true potential. But just as the subconscious absorbs negative words, it also absorbs positive ones. Think of a time when you truly believed in yourself, even for a moment. Maybe it was before an important test, a big presentation, or a life-changing opportunity. That surge of confidence, that inner voice telling you you can do this, changed the way you approach the situation. And because you believed in yourself, you performed better, made bolder decisions, and attracted success. The only difference between that moment and the times you doubted yourself was the story you were telling your mind. The truth is, your subconscious mind will believe anything you repeatedly tell it. So why not tell it something empowering? Why not replace "I'm not good enough" with "I am more than capable"? Why not trade "I always fail" for "I learn and grow with every challenge"? The more you reinforce these positive messages, the stronger they become. Eventually, they will override the old, limiting beliefs and create a new reality. One where you see opportunities instead of obstacles, confidence instead of doubt, and success instead of failure. The words you speak to yourself are the most important words you will ever hear. Speak powerfully, speak with intention, because the moment you decide to silence negative self-talk and replace it with words of confidence and belief, you give your subconscious mind the permission to create a life beyond your wildest dream. Every great transformation begins with a decision, an intentional choice to take control of the thoughts that shape your life. Most people drift through life without realizing that the voice in their mind is directing their future. They allow random thoughts, past experiences, and outside influences to dictate their beliefs. But those who understand the power of the subconscious mind do something different. They choose their thoughts deliberately. They program their minds for success, happiness, and abundance. Think of your subconscious as a powerful computer. It runs on the software of your thoughts and beliefs. If you don't take control of what gets installed, old fears, doubts, and limitations will run on autopilot. But the good news is you have the power to rewrite the code. Every thought you consciously choose to focus on sends a new instruction to your subconscious. If you repeatedly think, I am confident, your subconscious begins to accept it as truth. If you visualize success, your subconscious starts working to align your actions with that vision. If you remind yourself daily that you are capable, your subconscious will find ways to prove it to you. There is incredible power in choosing your thoughts with intention. Have you ever noticed how a small shift in mindset changes everything? When you believe a challenge is an opportunity instead of a problem, your brain starts looking for solutions instead of excuses. When you tell yourself, I always find a way, your subconscious pushes you to take bold action. The world hasn't changed, but your perception has, and that makes all the difference. The most successful people in the world don't have fewer obstacles than others. They simply refuse to let negative thoughts control their destiny. They don't wait for confidence to magically appear. They create it by choosing empowering thoughts again and again until their subconscious fully embraces them. They understand that the mind is like a garden. If left unattended, weeds of fear and doubt will take over. But if nurtured with positive, intentional thoughts, it will flourish with strength, belief, and unstoppable determination. The question is, are you choosing your thoughts or letting them choose you? Every moment, you have the power to rewrite your story. You can replace hesitation with courage, doubt with belief, and fear with faith. The moment you decide to take control of your inner dialogue, you take control of your life. And once your subconscious mind aligns with your dreams, nothing can stop you from turning them into reality. Repetition is the language of the subconscious mind. It doesn't learn through logic, reasoning, or temporary motivation. It learns through consistent reinforcement. Every thought you repeat, every belief you reinforce, and every image you hold in your mind is like a command being programmed into the deepest part of your being. Over time, these repeated thoughts shape your identity, influence your actions, and ultimately determine the reality you experience. Think about how you learn to do anything in life: walking, talking, riding a bike, or driving a car. In the beginning, it felt unnatural. You had to focus, make mistakes, and push through discomfort. But through repetition, your subconscious mind absorbed the patterns, and what once felt difficult became effortless. The same principle applies to confidence, success, and personal growth. If you repeatedly tell yourself, I am capable, your subconscious will begin to accept it. If you visualize success every day, your mind will start finding ways to make it happen. If you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of abundance, your subconscious will guide your actions toward opportunities instead of limitations. Unfortunately, most people unknowingly repeat the wrong messages. They tell themselves, I'm not good enough, I always fail, or I'll never be successful. And because the subconscious doesn't judge, it simply records and executes, their mind begins working against them instead of for them. The good news is that just as these negative patterns were created through repetition, they can also be replaced with positive, empowering ones. The key is consistency. You can't say, I believe in myself once and expect a lifetime of confidence. You must reinforce it daily with words, thoughts, and actions that align with the belief you want to install. Every successful person you admire has used this principle, whether they knew it or not. They trained their subconscious by constantly feeding it powerful affirmations, visualizing their success before it happened, and taking action as if their goals were already achieved. They repeated these empowering beliefs so often that their subconscious had no choice but to accept them as reality. And once the subconscious is convinced, it moves mountains to prove itself right. Your mind is always learning, it's always recording, it's always absorbing the messages you feed it. The question is, what are you teaching it? Are you repeating words of fear or words of faith? Are you reinforcing limitations or possibilities? If you want to change your life, start by changing the messages you repeat every day. Because once your subconscious mind accepts a new belief as truth, it will do everything in its power to turn it into your reality. Life is not a straight path. It is filled with obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected challenges. But here's the truth. These challenges are not there to stop you. They are there to strengthen you. The way you perceive them determines whether they become stepping stones to success or roadblocks that keep you stuck. And the most powerful factor in that perception is your subconscious mind. When faced with difficulties, most people immediately assume the worst. They see failure as proof that they aren't good enough. They see rejection as a sign to give up. They see setbacks as a message that they should lower their expectations. But those who understand the power of the subconscious mind think differently. They program themselves to see every challenge as an opportunity. They train their minds to believe that struggles are not signs of failure, but invitations to grow. They teach themselves that every setback contains a lesson, every difficulty builds strength, and every obstacle is a test of their commitment. Think about the people who have achieved greatness. Did they succeed because their path was easy? No. They succeeded because they refused to let challenges break them. Instead, they used them as fuel. They told themselves, this is making me stronger. This is preparing me for something greater. This is an opportunity to prove how unstoppable I am. And because they fed their subconscious these empowering messages, their minds responded by finding solutions, building resilience, and pushing them forward when others would have quit. Your subconscious mind is always listening. If you tell it that a challenge is too hard, it will make sure you feel overwhelmed. But if you tell it that you are more powerful than any obstacle, it will rise to the occasion. It will help you find the inner strength, the ideas, and the courage to keep going. The most successful people are not those who never face challenges. They are the ones who have programmed their subconscious minds to see those challenges as stepping stones rather than barriers. Every struggle is an opportunity in disguise. Every delay, every failure, every disappointment is shaping you into the person you need to become to reach your highest potential. The key is to rewire your subconscious to believe that nothing is happening to you, everything is happening for you. When you embrace this mindset, your challenges will no longer hold you back. Instead, they will become the very reason you rise. The mind is a powerful architect, constructing reality long before it is seen or touched. Every great achievement, every breakthrough, and every moment of success began first as an image in someone's mind. Before the world could witness it, the person who created it had already seen it clearly in their imagination. This is the power of visualization and affirmation, the ability to shape the future by seeing it and speaking it into existence. The subconscious mind does not distinguish between reality and imagination. It simply accepts whatever is repeatedly fed to it. When you visualize success vividly and feel it as if it is already happening, your subconscious begins to work in ways you cannot consciously understand. It starts aligning your thoughts, actions, and decisions with the image you hold. It sharpens your focus, attracts the right opportunities, and gives you the inner drive to pursue what you once thought was impossible. Think about the greatest athletes, performers, and leaders in history. They didn't just hope for success, they saw it first in their minds. They practiced victory in their imagination before it happened in real life. A champion runner doesn't just train physically, they mentally cross the finish line hundreds of times before the race even begins. A musician doesn't just practice their instrument, they visualize themselves playing with perfection on stage. A business leader doesn't just work hard, they affirm their vision daily, telling themselves, I am capable, I am resourceful, I am unstoppable. And because they repeat these images and words, their subconscious accepts them as truth and shapes their reality accordingly. But most people do the opposite. They visualize failure, worry about obstacles, and affirm their doubts instead of their potential. They say, I'm not good enough, I always mess up, or success is too hard, and their subconscious mind, without question, works to make those statements true. The good news is, just as negative patterns can be ingrained, they can also be rewritten. You can choose to see yourself succeeding. You can choose to affirm your greatness. You can choose to create a mental blueprint of the life you desire, and your subconscious mind will begin working to bring it to reality. The mind is a magnet, pulling in experiences that align with the thoughts and images it holds most often. If you want to change your life, start by changing what you see in your mind and what you say to yourself every day. Visualize success so clearly that your subconscious believes it has already happened. Speak words of confidence, power, and determination until they become your reality, because once your subconscious is convinced, the world will have no choice but to follow. The universe responds to those who take action. The subconscious mind is a powerhouse of potential capable of creating extraordinary results, but it cannot work alone. It needs direction, it needs movement, it needs you to take the first step. Too many people fill their minds with positive thoughts, visualize their dreams, and affirm their success, but never take action. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, or a sign that guarantees success before they move forward. But the truth is, action itself is the sign. Action is what activates the power of the subconscious mind and turns possibilities into reality. When you take action toward your goals, even in small ways, you send a signal to your subconscious that you are serious. You reinforce the belief that your dream is not just a wish, but an expectation. Every step you take, no matter how small, builds momentum. Your subconscious begins working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances, attracting the right people, and uncovering solutions that were previously hidden. Success does not come from waiting, it comes from movement. Imagine a river. It flows effortlessly, carving its path through mountains, breaking through obstacles over time. It does not stop and question whether it is capable. It does not hesitate. It simply moves forward. This is the same principle that governs your mind. The moment you start taking action, even if you don't feel fully ready, you create an energy that propels you forward. The subconscious mind rewards those who act, those who dare to step out of their comfort zones, those who trust that progress, not perfection, is the key to success. The biggest mistake people make is believing they need confidence before they act. But confidence is not something you wait for, it is something you build. Every time you push past doubt, your subconscious takes note. Every time you take a step despite fear, your subconscious reprograms itself to see you as courageous. Every time you persist in the face of failure, your subconscious strengthens your resilience. Before you know it, the person who once hesitated is now unstoppable because they have trained their mind to take action no matter what. The power of your subconscious is limitless, but it needs your direction, it needs your movement. It needs your decision to act. Success is not about knowing every step of the journey. It's about taking the first step and trusting that the path will unfold. Once you start, once you commit, once you declare with your actions that you are ready, your subconscious mind will work tirelessly to ensure you reach your destination. Because the moment you move, the entire universe moves with you. Everything you have ever wanted, everything you have ever dreamed of, and everything you are capable of becoming already exists within you. The key to unlocking it has never been outside of you. It has always been within your subconscious mind. Or have you unknowingly allowed fear, doubt, and limitation to dictate your destiny? There is no magic formula for greatness, only the undeniable truth that what you feed your mind, it will accept as reality. If you believe in yourself, your subconscious will find ways to make you unstoppable. If you visualize your success, your subconscious will work tirelessly to bring it into existence. If you take bold, decisive action, your subconscious will move mountains to make sure you succeed. The power has always been in your hands. The only thing left to do is to use it. To think of the people who have changed the world, the ones who have turned impossibilities into achievements. They were not different from you. They were not born with special privileges or superhuman abilities. The only difference was that they made a choice to control their thoughts instead of being controlled by them, a choice to reprogram their subconscious for greatness, and a choice to act as if success was already theirs. And because they made that choice, their minds responded, their subconscious aligned, their reality transformed. Now it's your turn. No more waiting, no more doubting, no more allowing your old limiting beliefs to hold you back from the life you were meant to live. The moment you shift your mindset, the moment you decide to rewrite the script playing in your subconscious, everything begins to change. Your thoughts will become your allies instead of your enemies. Your subconscious will begin working for you instead of against you. You will start attracting the right opportunities, the right people, and the right circumstances. Not by luck, but by design. You were born with limitless potential. You were given a mind that can create, manifest, and achieve beyond what you ever thought possible. The only thing standing between where you are and where you want to be is the way you think. Train your subconscious, speak power into your life, take action with unshakable belief, because once you master your mind, you will master your destiny. And when that happens, nothing in this world can stop you.